Question 44 from the Book of Questions. You are offered $1 million. That's about £2.5 million in today's money. Because this was written some while ago, for the following act. Before you, I think in front of me on the table, say, are 10 pistols, only one of which is loaded. You must pick up one of the pistols, point it at your forehead, and pull the trigger. If you can walk away, you do so a millionaire. Would you accept the risk? Okay, well, real life, no. No, definitely not, because in real life, oh my goodness, would I smell a fish. No one would ever set this up unless there was some subterfuge. I would never have any trust that, oh yeah, only one of them is loaded. Possibly none of them is loaded, in which case it's all just a test. And I would be castigated if I picked one up. You idiot, you risked your life? Seriously? Yeah, but you didn't know that none of them was loaded. Or maybe 9 of them are loaded. And I've got to know that only one of them is loaded. How would I know that unless I've checked the other 9? In which case, if I've checked the other 9 and find that any of those is unloaded, well, I'll pick one of those, won't I? That I know is not loaded. So the answer in practical terms is no. But let us imagine that I live in some magical world, and in this magical world, I somehow magically know that this is a completely legitimate offer, and they definitely will pay up with the money, which I suspect in reality they wouldn't. Oh no, we were just kidding. And that only one of them is loaded and that the others will go click and be completely harmless. There is the lawyer's weaseling out of it way, is that it says, I pointed at my forehead. My mother taught me to say forehead. I used to say forehead because that's the way I learned the word, this part of the body. But my mother discovered that you're supposed to say forehead, and so she went over to forehead. Yeah, this bit, the forehead. Now, I could, of course, be pointing the gun at my forehead at a really, really shallow angle like this, so that as long as I'm wearing ear defenders and don't deafen myself, I would just get away with a nasty scar across there. And, for £2.5 million for a scar, yeah, maybe I'd risk it. But that's weaseling out of it. Let us imagine that they absolutely definitely have to point it like that, and that the consequences, if I pick the loaded one, are definite death and instant, probably painless as well, death. Because I think the questioner intended it that way, and it's the best way to answer the question. So if he's not bringing a painful, lingering, nasty death into it, it's just bang, you're dead. What is the choice here? It seems there are 2 possibilities. 1, I become really rich, and 2, nothing. The other option isn't death. It's just nothing. If I have a gun here and I put lights out, I'm no longer conscious of anything. I can remember what it was like before I was born. It was nothing, and it was fine. Being dead is something I've experienced. Nothingness is something I've experienced, and it's just nothing. It's fine. It's nothing to object to at all. So I have a 9/10 chance of becoming rich and a 1/10 chance of nothing. So it seems significant gain or no loss is one way of looking at it. But is it the way that a living person would look at it, or should look at it? I don't have dependents who would be part of the equation, so I don't have to live for the sake of my children. I suppose one part of this question is, how much do I value money? Another part of this question might also be, is $1 million or £2.5 million or whatever, is that actually being rich? Yeah, it would make me richer than the average person, but it's not everything's fine for the rest of your life type rich. The wrong government gets in and decides to tax people who are reasonably well off, and that money could be just gone. I wouldn't say that I could just put my feet up forever, even with that kind of money. And how much do I value money? Well, I used not to know, because for many, many years, I didn't have any money. I had a bit of a reputation for being a bit stingy, but I didn't know that I was stingy, because if you've got no money, that's the only option you've got. So was I stingy? I was frugal. I was very good at getting by with very little. For years and years, I had a job, but actually I was earning less than I would have got if I'd just signed on for what Americans call welfare. which strongly suggests that I don't value money very much. And when I did start getting money, and before I bought this place and had a mortgage to worry about, I was getting sponsors on this channel, and suddenly I had all this money with actually nothing much to do with it, and turns out I was quite generous with it. A friend of mine was putting on a steampunk event, and the company that he'd paid lots of money to supply the marquees, the very big tents for the event, they took his money and disappeared. And I gave him £500, I think it was, towards hiring some more tents, and I haven't seen a penny of it back, and hasn't bothered me that much. We're still friends. And I've turned down an awful lot of sponsors for this channel. So many sponsors, because I thought, there are lots of reasons, but a lot of them I just thought, this smells like a scam. There was one not so long ago I turned down where they were selling you 1 square foot of Scotland and a certificate saying that you are now a lord. Yeah, the word is laird, and that as in landlord. A laird, you're not a member of the aristocracy, and to be a landlord you have to have tenants, and you're not going to get any tenants on 1 square foot of land in the middle of a forest or halfway up a hillside in Scotland, are you? So that was just money for old rope. That was a scam. There was another one I turned down, which was investing in modern art. Really, I mean, I had a look at the images they had online of, you could own part of this artwork. Wouldn't that be wonderful? No, it wasn't wonderful at all. You didn't get to enjoy the artwork, if such artwork could even be enjoyed, by having it on your wall or anything. These artworks were, they assured you, in a vault somewhere in New York. So you didn't get to enjoy the art. It was purely an investment scheme. Well, if they could guarantee that the money would go up, why would they get your money? I mean, they'd be putting all their own money into it. If you have a work of art or a thing, whatever it is, and you know that it's going to get an awful lot more valuable if you invest in it, you would invest your own money, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to try to get other people to invest theirs and they take the risk. You'd take the risk if it was so flipping guaranteed. I just thought the whole thing just had scam written all over it. And there have been all manner of other companies that I've turned down. So many video games that I just thought were rubbish. Or that I hadn't had a chance to play. And I've had to turn one down recently because my amazing computer that has a spec that would frankly poleaxe Einstein now still won't play the latest games because the spec required for the latest games has gone up again. And can I afford to buy another computer? No, I haven't got that kind of money to throw around. So, another thing I've not done on this channel is I haven't jumped on the latest trend. There are loads of people all talking about this latest thing on YouTube, and yeah, I could make another one and it would get loads of... When Game of Thrones was the thing, I could have jumped on that bandwagon really hard and just made loads and loads of Game of Thrones related videos and got loads of views, but I just thought, loads of other people are already jumping on that bandwagon. I'll do something else. So I feel that I have, through action, proven to myself that actually I don't value money all that much, in which case I'm probably not going to risk shooting myself through the head in order to get slightly more of it.
Lindy!